3 years, we heard it every day, that Joe Biden and Donald Trump were the oldest candidates ever. Republicans made the excuse that Biden was 3 years older, and the media gave it a pass. Their breathless coverage of Biden's age, while ignoring Trump's decline, pretended Trump wasn't slurring his speech.
We want a landslide that's
confusing people,
including Obama. I'll tell you what.
Telling weird, wandering stories.
By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man.
Now, there's no excuse. There's only one person in this race now with mental problems. One person with memory problems. One person feeling the icy hand of death from old age creeping closer. One person who knows the clock is running out. And that's old Donald Trump. Weak, impotent, forgetful, mentally declining, fast. He'd be 83 by the end of his term. If he's senile now, he'll be dangerous by then.
God damn. I love the Lincoln Project.
Closer.
Thank you very much for that video. That is perfect. So, welcome back to the show. If you've never seen our show before, I promise you this is definitely going to be the episode you're going to watch. And I promise I will try not to laugh the whole way through it, because some of this stuff is absolutely insane. So, the right wing is completely right. The right wing is completely collapsing upon realizing that they have the worst presidential ticket in U.S. history. Their support and donors are fleeing in large numbers. And we're in this episode, we're just going to show you exactly how desperate, how dystopian, and yes, how weird this whole MAGA movement is under Donald Trump.
It's funny how weird became like a rallying cry.
Right?
I don't know
how.
And I think it was honestly, like, I'm not just blowing smoke. I think I saw something where Kamala said it in one of her earlier like addresses where
she did
after she accepted Joe Biden's endorsement, where she said something about like either Trump being weird or them being weird. And ever since then, everyone's like, you know what? Yeah, they're weird. Why is no one talking about how just plain weird they are?
We have, though. That's the thing. But I mean, we've called them fascists. We've called them Christian nationalists. We've called them a lot of different things. And I'm just surprised that weird is the one that triggered them the most. It did. Oh, my God. Fox News is like, we're not weird. The Democrats are weird. Like, that's how bad it is. So on Twitter right now, the number 2 trending hashtag, and this was as a couple hours ago, I don't know if it's changed, was weird AF. And yes, they are talking about these people here and all the other Trump supporters.
God.
So we have a lot of material that is just going to crack you up. Some of the stuff is disturbing, but it's all about people on the right just absolutely complete meltdown. I don't think we've been saying it on the show, and I've talked about it with Mike. Like, we needed something to unify the left, the rest of the country. Yeah. Because Joe Biden, unfortunately, I was hoping he would do it, but he just was not able to do it. But Kamala Harris, in such a short amount of time, holy shit, has she turned us around.
It's a shame that such a successful president as Joe Biden didn't get the benefit of the doubt because of his record. Because unfortunately, Biden was the president that we absolutely had no choice but to vote for. And I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm not diminishing him. But anyone who actually had a brain and saw what Trump did and wanted to continue doing knew they had to vote for Joe Biden. But Biden turned what was almost a gimme, which he had to win or we were screwed, into a successful presidency. He's bringing jobs back. He's doing a lot of great things now that he's calling for the SCOTUS reform. But we didn't have the rallying cry that apparently Kamala Harris was and is, because I don't think anyone's seen anything like it. And you could tell by the attacks on her. Oh my God, they have nothing. They have nothing. And it's going to be funny to see them scraping the bottom of their own barrel to fling shit at her. And she's just going to flick it off.
Right. And I mean, she's had record-breaking fundraising numbers. We also recently, yesterday, I was on part of the White Dudes for Harris live stream. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to pay too much attention to it because I was editing videos for the show. But They had like 190,000 people watching, which is just absolutely incredible. And they were able to raise upwards of $4 million in just a few hours for Kamala Harris's campaign. And then immediately after that happened, Elon Musk blocked them on Twitter.
Yep.
The biggest freaking diaper baby entitled. Oh, I wish I could really say how I feel about it without getting in trouble. But that's who we're going to talk about first, actually, is Elon Musk. God, this just honestly, I hope,
because he's a joke.
I hope
and
you
an
lose
asshole.
your funding. I hope you get exiled from this country for what you're doing. And we'll explain here in a second. But this is just an example
Another immigrant
who
hates immigrants.
Person.
Think about that.
This is him talking about his own kid. Recently, he was on a interview with somebody, and he has a transgender kid, and he has a transgender daughter. But instead of accepting that and just, being open-minded about it, he says his son is dead, is what he says here in this video. So let me play it.
Be more of a scumbag, and I am not a parent, so maybe I shouldn't be commenting, but I always thought the whole point of parenting was unconditional love, not, oh, you're not what I expect, want, or demand, so I don't love you anymore.
No, like both my kids are.
Do that.
Yeah, both my kids are part of that. Both my kids are part of the LGBTQ community. When you're a parent, like you make a decision when you're a good parent, not a robot like Elon Musk. When you're a good parent, you make a decision to love that child the day it's born, no matter what. You make a decision before that kid's born to love it, no matter what. And there's some things that are going to come up that you're going to have a hard time accepting. Yes, that's parenting, but you don't just disown your kid and say your son is dead because
the party of family, all right.
I know. So let's play this video here real quick.
It wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. So
smartest guy on the planet, right?
Yeah. Anyway, and so I lost my son essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah.
All right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead. Killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
So let's get this straight. There's no such thing as the woke mind virus. What there is logic, intelligence, compassion, reason, science, education, things that get people out of their own asses and understand the world in a more complex way, the way it actually is. See, what the conservative party is, what Elon Musk was putting all his money behind and has attached his sorrow, oh, pity me story to, is the idea that the world has always been, is currently, and shall always be man, woman, Christian, oh, everything's perfect. The world does not work the way these people want. You can see how they're upset at the Olympics because they think everything's the last summer, they don't understand the last summer was imagery stolen from every other freaking mythology before that.
People getting mad about Deadpool, saying Deadpool is blasphemous. I'm like, are you out of your fucking minds?
But this is still part of the larger satanic panic thing. But to bring it back to Elon, he is not a smart man. He did not invent any of the things that you associate him with. He took his daddy's blood emerald money, and bought companies. He's a venture capitalist at best. Okay. So the man isn't when he speaks, you're not supposed to do this when Elon Musk speaks. Holy crap, that's profound. Because it's not. The guy's a moron. The guy's a garbage parent, and he's a terrible American. Oh, wait. Is he even a citizen?
According to his brother, they actually came here illegally. There's a video on the internet if you want to go ahead and search that.
Man, it's funny that the right
about that
claims that everyone on the left is just here illegally, right? Obama didn't have a birth certificate. They're already questioning Kamala.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's odd because Donald Trump has several anchor babies with several immigrant wives. Elon Musk is an immigrant that wants to destroy our country. But the right's okay with that.
Yeah, this is what I don't understand. And then he posts he first he pledges 45 million, then he backs out and pretends like he never said it. Like, dude, we saw you post
I didn't say it. You said it. You said it.
Right? Yeah, you said it, bro. Like, just admit it. And he's like, "Oh, I never said that." So yeah, then he decides he's gonna post a deep fake video about Kamala Harris. Sorry, I didn't say it right because I'm so. Oh, they say it wrong so often; it's getting in my head.
I know.
So Kamala Harris deepfake video using her voice, and it's completely ignorant. I'm not going to show it on the show.
No,
I refuse to.
You want to talk about dystopian bullshit? All right. First things first, AI, the way we're all talking about it, we don't have that. We have super powered computers that can Google really fast and give you answers in the format you ask them for. We don't have computers that think for their own and are independent, self-sufficient beings. We don't. But what we do have is people willing to use advanced technology to do election interference, alter the path of history. I don't know. Cause disinformation to sway public opinion. When Elon Musk on his own platform that he bought because he was so mad about the woke mind virus, the one that's infecting everyone with fakeness, he has a rule that you're not allowed to post videos that are altered by AI, voice or not, without a warning. He not only didn't do it, but he has since retweeted again his own thing. He is breaking his own rule because he can't stand that the world he thinks is real isn't. And everyone else is now against him. Everyone knows what Elon Musk is. He's a freaking child and apparently, he's a moron.
Right. Apparently the person that originally posted the video did disclose that it was AI. But then Elon ran with it, and then he posted, and he has, I wrote it down, 192 million followers. So that fake video with no disclaimer of it being altered, obviously it is. Anybody with half a brain will know 5 seconds in that it's not a real ad.
How about this? How about we just don't let child babies run everything?
That's what I'm saying. Like, this guy's supposedly a genius, but you got tricked into giving your kid puberty blockers.
Yeah, guess what?
Wait, what?
Number one, to consider that puberty blockers and call them sterilization, okay, he's saying that because he's one of those people that I don't know if he's one exactly, but I actually call it a impregnation fetish. That people that just think you got to get people pregnant. People are supposed to be pregnant. If you can't get pregnant, blah, blah, blah. That's the only value women have. Right. But he's worried about being able to pass on his stupid genes like we live in feudal times, and your last name is somehow going to bestow you with powers and honors. Okay, it's the money in your account that you pass on to your kids. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter who your kid is. Love your kid. It's not that hard.
Right. So he posts a fake video and people love it. Okay. They're, oh yeah, on the right. They're all happy. But then when, what's his name? Pete Souza. Is that his name?
Yep.
Pete Souza. Yeah.
Pete Souza
posts this picture of Donald Trump with a clearly fine ear. Okay. The shit didn't magically grow back. I'm saying Mike and I were freaking right the entire time. I'm sorry.
Well, and what does Trump say about it? What language does Trump use about his own ear?
So this is Donald Trump's post immediately after. This was the first post he made, and when he went to the house after the shooting, after the attempted assassination. I highlighted the parts we want to focus on. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. And then you see down there, immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Let's pull this up again. I'm just, he got chased.
Well, clearly that's a deep fake, and Pete Souza is part of the liberal mind virus and some other bullshit. Look, he didn't make that tweet in the car to whatever hospital they took him to, where he may have been able to. I don't know. That's what it felt like. If there was even an injury to his ear, which we can't even see evidence of.
This picture has people wondering because there's clearly no injury. And if there was, it's a very small scratch because you cannot see it. Even if you blow the picture up, I don't see shit.
So what happened? So what happened? Pete Souza, who is a world-renowned, award-winning photojournalist, he documented the entire Reagan presidency and the entire Obama presidency. I'm sorry, right wing. He doesn't just play favorites; he does his job. This is a guy who has taken photographs that have created our history. We can look back at them and see moments in our presidents' lives. And he was so harassed by right-wing screwballs who genuinely think Donald Trump just has like regrowing powers. Like, oh, I am from the Lord, give me power. Like, they believe that. And they were accosting Pete Souza so much that he deactivated his own account. A photojournalist doing some of the best work you'll ever see had to leave a once former somewhat decent platform because it's turned to a cesspool of shit. Because Elon Musk is a man baby that doesn't understand that if you're going to have your kid do a medical procedure, Google it. Google it.
Yeah, it's not that hard. Google
and
it.
see what it's
about.
Well,
now,
what are you blaming the doctor? No.
Now they think Google is they're suppressing information now is what they're saying Google's doing. Google's in on the whole scheme now. That's the new conspiracy. to get Donald Trump elected. I'm like, you guys are out of your minds. Okay, so moving on. They will
believe anything except what's in front of their eyes.
And
they're the ones that are like, believe what you see, right? Believe what you see. They don't see anything at the border. They don't see anything going on that they think it does. People in drag are not like chasing kids away in sacks like Krampus and trying to steal them and take their body parts. But they think they are because they're told that. But they're the ones telling the left, look at what you see around you. How could you not see this? Because see what's happening. Trump is a loser.
He is. And so is his son, Don Jr. So that's what we're going to talk about next.
Oh.
One of our favorite cartoon characters, Donald Trump Jr.
Want a news show that parties?
I literally did not go to sleep on Friday night.
Watch Cocaine News with your host, Donald Trump Jr.
The cocaine addict who happens to be the son of the president.
Hot takes.
You know, I know you're not allowed to talk about the great replacement theory.
Hard drugs.
Going 172 in a car while smoking crack.
And all the finger quotes you can handle.
Dangers of disinformation.
He called it blackface. Lost part of his penis.
Cutting up fat rails of journalism.
They checked a couple boxes and maybe there's bombs blowing up and he's scrolling at the little window. The political persecution.
That's pure uncut news candy.
It's Republican drama, yada, yada, yada. We have no idea. This isn't like my job.
Cocaine News.
Watch this. All right, we're having a little trouble pulling up the video.
Weekends, 3 a.m.
What?
All right, so sorry. All right.
Do they say fat rails of justice? That's all. Okay.
All right. So on this episode of Cocaine News with Don Jr., he interviews his buddy, the new VP. Honestly, I think Elon had something to do with this. VP
did you see? Did you see Don Jr.'s endorsement? It's an official photo that he put out. It's an endorsement video of JD Vance.
No, I haven't seen it. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, I swear to God, I started cracking up when I went on Twitter and people were trying to figure out what JD stood for in there. Somebody said Jorkin the penis.
We're not aiming for highbrow tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary friends. We are really not.
So Don Jr. interviews Mr. Jorkin penis. Okay, and this video is not sped up. And you decide.
The disclaimer.
This is not sped up at all. Okay, so
this is real speed, real time.
Yep, here we go.
Like there's some of them are like, we don't even want white women. Like it doesn't we need to check like 3 or 4 boxes so you can end up in like, if you're like
sweating,
a trans communist, this, that, and the other, like you too can be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company with no experience whatsoever. He's actually spent real time with them. Like, and he's sort of, I would say he's the blue-collar billionaire. And 15 years ago when I said it, people used to shit all over me. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you don't understand. And now they understand. What the borders are, wrote the article. It wasn't even like it was the same publication.
Supposed to be interviewing
it was the
JD
same
Vance?
journalist.
I don't know
this
why.
year, like, to literally save democracy, because it's literally at risk, JD. Now they're pretending, no, she's a moderate. They did the same thing with Joe Biden. He's going to be so moderate. He's so moderate. Look, he's moderate. Yeah. The policies were not right. Like me, a couple other people that we're friends with that are like, hey, guys, here are the facts, but you're not going to get that. Honestly, you may not get that on... I don't know.
Seems like it should be illegal.
I'm reasonably fast. If you see me on Twitter, like I'll get out a mean tweet in seconds. Right?
So JD Vance could get a word in. So you decide, is he or is he not stimulated in some way? Let's call it mind altering chemicals. We'll call it that. A lot of sweat.
I think it's important
Very
to know
fast
that the rumor on the street, for lack of a better phrase, is that Eric and Don Jr. were heavy, if not the primary influences on their poppy, Donald Trump, to pick J.D. Vance for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Now, my opinion is that J.D. Vance was put there as a Heritage Foundation plant. But I'm not going to discount what Eric and Don might have done. Who knows what deals they're trying to work. But it's just funny how there is no part of the Trump core, Donald, his direct descendants, that have any brains. They have no political acumen. They have no policy breakthroughs. They have nothing to offer anyone but being bullies that shitty people can cheer for to be bullies to other people. Like they're like the surrogate bullies for people. I don't understand what the appeal is, but there's nothing to these guys. Nothing.
But yeah, that idiot will be back in the White House with his father, doing rails off in the Oval Office.
Ronnie Jackson's already got that pad ready to just write off prescriptions. He'll pretend it's a dental procedure. Cocaine is used in dentistry sometimes, so he'll just pretend it's for like veneers or something and be like, "Oh,
I know, right?
Junior needed 6 8 balls of medical attention."
No kidding, just deliver it right to him. All right, so let's move on to Fox News's reaction to the meteoric rise of Kamala Harris and her campaign, because nobody was ready for it. We weren't even ready for it.
MAGA was definitely not ready for it.
They were not prepared for this. I can't believe they did not even. You could tell by the reaction; they had no idea this was coming. Their whole identity was built around, F Joe Biden.
Well, there was no way they'd conceive of anyone conceding power. That's what the essence of all of this is. That's what we're fighting against, is the concept of fascism, of totalitarianism. And they just had no idea in their brains that he would just concede power and concede power to a black woman. Like, people were thinking Trump was going to pick a woman or a person of color. Yeah, okay. He was always going to pick a Tic Tac. That was never going to be anything else.
Yeah. And we have some more videos on JD Vance here coming up. All right, let's move on to Fox. So this is Jesse Waters' meltdown. This is what he says about people that are voting for a woman.
This is a classy dude right here.
Wow.
Classy.
Now, I don't see why any man would vote Democrat. It's not the party of virtue, security. It's not the party of strength. It's definitely not the party of family. And to be a man and then vote for a woman just because she's a woman is either childish, that person has mommy issues, or they're just trying to be accepted by other women. And I heard the scientists say the other day that when a man votes for a woman, he actually transitions into a woman.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's what the science says.
Science says that.
What? So if you vote for a woman, the science says, according to Jesse Waters, that you transition into a woman. These men are so intimidated by a powerful woman. It's
all
incredible.
I know. That's funny. That's the easy way to say what my brain was putting together, is that you could tell in someone like him what they think of women, because, how about this? What they think of women in a mirror of what they think men should be, not the power of virtue. What does virtue mean when you don't respect women? Sense. What is the power of strength? What is strength when you bend over, and just let Donald Trump nest inside of your ass? Like, what is the party of family when you throw children out on the street because they don't live to what you think they should be? There's nothing about the Republican Party that screams strength and honor and virtue and family to me. Okay, so, and also no one's voting for Kamala just because she's a woman. If you wanted to, Jesse Waters, you moron, you could have suggested that Democratic women shouldn't vote for Kamala just because she's a woman. If you wanted to try and make an argument, that would be the only one you could at least present a hypothesis for. Okay,
right?
But to say that men are just going to vote for her because she's a woman, I'm going to vote for her, A, because she's not Donald Trump, B, because she's quite intelligent, and C, because she has learned a lot in working in an administration that has done a lot of good for America. There's a lot more reasons I'm voting for Kamala now than I would have been voting for Joe Biden. So I hate to break it to you, Jesse. There's a lot of reasons people are looking at Kamala. Okay.
Right. One, nobody's
not for your
voting
demented
for her.
ones.
Nobody's voting for her because she's a woman.
Yeah,
that's nothing. Well,
that was the Obama line. They're going to vote for Obama just because he's black.
Right. I think I get it, though. I think I understand why Jesse Waters is so upset, is because he spent the last 3 years licking Donald Trump's boots, putting out the dumbest possible reports. I mean, just really, like you said, he just lives in Donald Trump's ass. And now he feels emasculated because his daddy is losing to a black woman, and that's bothering him.
No.
Oh, poor Jesse Waters. All right, so let's go to another Fox News clip. This is Laura Trump freaking the fuck out on Fox News. Sorry about the language, but there's really no other way to explain it. This is just glorious. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm taking just way too much joy in watching the downfall of Donald Trump, because that's what we're
because especially his inner circle. His inner circle is flipping out. They don't even know. They can't even get sentences out of their mouths. This is like deranged shit. And this is the person in charge of the RNC, basically.
Oh, I forgot about that part. Yeah, let's echo. Don't forget she's a singer too.
What do you make of this? They said they were going to run on democracy, and this seems real democratic.
Lawrence, it is such a joke. Look at the other side. Oh my gosh. We had to basically get a proof of life in a phone call from Joe Biden, the current president. I'll remind everybody, yesterday, whenever Kamala Harris went to that Wilmington campaign office, this is insane. Do they really think the American people want to vote for this party? This is what this party is doing to the country? Wow. You are exactly right, Lawrence. I'll remind the audience how the process is actually supposed to work here in America. These folks in Washington, D.C. actually work for us. We, the people, we are actually supposed to vote for them and elect them to these offices. And yet it appears a lot of people for a long time knew Joe Biden could not actually run this race and actually probably shouldn't be president of the United States right now.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's their talking point, because this is, again, they don't understand how any of this works. They believe that, or at least they're trying to create the narrative that him not running for re-election means that he has stepped down as president. Or something. And the best part is they're talking about, this wasn't part of the primary process. This wasn't part of anything. That's not reality.
No. And guess what, right wing, MAGA, when people voted for Biden during the primaries, who's with Biden on the goddamn ticket? I mean, they voted for Biden Harris. That was the whole point.
This is the same thing as them claiming that she's the failed border czar. Well, just because Joe Biden might have said that her job is to oversee what's going on at the border, if you did any of your homework in middle school or high school, you'll understand that we have something called Congress, and Congress creates laws. And then those laws get passed on to the Senate for them to vote on to ratify, and then the president signs it. Kamala Harris, you could call her whatever you want. I guarantee you, Joe Biden never called her the border czar. Okay, that's what the news says and what the media says and what right-wing people think the world works like. She doesn't have power to just go, I closed the border unilaterally. Guess who else doesn't have that power? Joe Biden, unless you're going to call up some bullshit fake national emergency that doesn't exist.
And they're
stop ascribing powers to people that they don't have, and stop blaming candidates for things they didn't do because they couldn't have done it. You have no attacks against Kamala. None. So you're just going to make up fake ones. That's all this nonsense is.
And they're being called out for, even on Fox News is calling them out for the fact that they were the ones that destroyed the border bill. There would be a border bill right now in place. Everything would be fine. They would be working on securing the border properly. Everything would be good to go. But no, Donald Trump said no.
Bipartisan bill.
Rejected it before they read it. I like to remind people of that. Before they even got the bill, which was written by conservative Republicans in the Senate, along with Democrats. But they didn't want to give Joe Biden the win. Well, you know what? Like everything. Like every idea they have, it blew up in their faces. But
Someone on Instagram, Craig's Garden Shenanigans said, and I quote, "It's her agenda, not her gender, that matters."
Thank you very much. All right. So speaking of attacking Kamala Harris, all right. So this is another Fox News clip. It's the same group of people. I don't remember all their names, honestly. I don't care, but it's 3 white reporters and they're the one black gentleman on the left side. just listen. How did this guy not jump out of his seat and just slap the shit out of this other guy here?
Obviously, you compare him to President Biden, who was muddling his way through speeches. People know he couldn't go more than better, right? Yep, couldn't go more than 15 minutes. She's very good on the prompter. No one even doubted that. She had 3,000 people there. Why are they there? A lot of them have to do with, hey, I'm a Democrat. I thought we were going to go down in flames. Now we have a shot. The problem with Kamala Harris, number one, she has not had her record exploited heavily because people thought and marginalized her. Even in the Democratic Party, they said, man, what a bad choice Joe Biden made. Number two is she hasn't sat down for an interview. When she sits down in an interview and says, do you want to fund ICE? Where do you stand on Medicare for all? Why didn't you show up? The most recent decision, already you got a question. She will not show up for the Prime Minister's joint session of Congress today. She'd rather address in the summer a sorority, a college sorority, like she can't get out of that. So that's her decision.
Oh my God, he did.
And how about the border? When they ask her about the border, I haven't been to Europe either. Remember, she said that she's the border czar. She didn't go to the president. She didn't go to the border.
On Fox News. Wow. Okay.
Didn't they just get like a big settlement against them in a lawsuit?
Dude, honestly, at this point, I think that's just the cost of doing business for Fox News because they've probably made that money back 10 times over. Because honestly,
how
their
that
viewership
gentleman
has gone up since
how that
they got sued
gentleman
and lost.
On the end of the couch didn't get up on air and put his fist through that scumbag's face. Like, have some respect for yourself. Just a modicum of dignity.
And if you watch the video, like he doesn't say that, he doesn't even say anything. Like it's like, yeah, dude, hello, wake up. Have they brainwashed you that much that you're not going to react to this and defend it? So anyway, moving on from Fox News because they're just not having a good time with this. It gets weirder. Okay, we've covered the light stuff so far. Moving on to QAnon Queen. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yo, she's out of control. Like she either smells the writing on the wall, which is a weird way to say it. I don't know why I said it that way, but either she knows that her time is up.
Probably smelled the writing on the wall.
She's scratching sniffing it because there's no one. Trump hates her. He won't even let her in the same room as him. The media barely tolerates her anymore. Everyone in Congress, whenever she opens her mouth, tells her to shut up, like on the floor, on record. She's got to know that her time is like.
Yeah, and I have a feeling a lot of these people are going to be in trouble with the law after they lose in this election. If she gets reelected, I've lost faith in the state of Georgia. I mean, seriously, come on. You could do so much better.
For all the work Stacey Abrams did, come on.
I mean, for real, there's so many better options. But here, let me show you who you elected down there in Georgia.
Was there a conspiracy to kill President Trump? Absolutely not. Then how did this happen?
Forced Biden out of the race after he had tested positive for COVID and appeared to be very sick. I think combining that with the rumored medical emergency from Las Vegas, Nevada, there's a lot of concerns. I've been calling for evidence of President Biden's health, his condition, and evidence that he's even alive.
The deep state, the media and the Democrats have really called for President Trump to be assassinated for years. None of us are shocked that this actually happened. We are just mortified that they did actually try to do it. And we don't have all the details. We don't know anything yet. But I think I'm just using my common sense like most people are, seeing everything they've seen. We don't buy the lie that they're laying out.
So you're talking about the biggest cover-up, far bigger than anything that ever happened in American history. Far bigger than Watergate.
Jeez.
Wait. So you're talking about the Republican who shot Donald Trump, right? That's what you're talking about? Okay.
All right, so these are the things that bother me, and I'm not trying to be a conspiracy person, but obviously Donald Trump ear is fine. I mean, the kid was Republican. There's just so many pieces of this puzzle that that bother me. That really do. And keep in mind, this is why I think Trump is panicking, because they just had I almost forgot to bring this up. They just had the 3 most massive bumps they're probably going to get in their entire campaign. One, Donald Trump did get a big boost from almost getting shot somehow. That's a plus in this world. Then they had the RNC, which was supposed to be a big boost, and they ended up picking JD Vance, and it ended up being a giant clown show. And then Aileen Cannon, however you pronounce her name, down in Florida, drops his freaking case, the stolen documents case. 3 bump. He's not going to get any more support. All you're going to see is his numbers go down. Kamala Harris's numbers are going to continue to go up. I'm telling you right now.
On that,
they can't handle this, man.
We've always made a point of saying polls can be taken with a few grains of salt here and there. They all depend on context, timing, all that. But one thing that is happening is Donald Trump is polling like 2 points above Kamala in most of the swing states. Mm-hmm. And what I was told by a bunch of people that I listen to that are far smarter than me, that's within the margin of error of any poll. So he's at the very least, you could assume he's dead even, or he could be 2 points under Kamala.
I think his
support
is peak,
evaporated, not just because he keeps telling them to take ivermectin and they're dying, not just because the largest percentage of people who died from COVID were Republicans and were MAGA people, not just because he's been telling them for years not to vote, don't trust the government, don't trust the elections, but because people are sick of him. And because the Democrats finally have something to rally around that approximates what hope feels like.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we felt hope, because a lot of these episodes, they're fun to do, but at the same time, it was like, man, if these people win, now it's more like it doesn't look like they're going to. I think it's the first time we can honestly say that it looks like this is the end of this stupid ass movement.
We'll see. They won't go quietly. See. They're not going
no, they're going to get more desperate. We're going to see a lot of them act out inappropriately.
A lot of Navy SEALs are going to slide out off their couches.
Right. I mean, we've already heard Kevin Roberts, leader of the Heritage Foundation, talking about.
Yeah. It'll be a bloodless coup. It'll be a bloodless transition if the left lets it. Sorry, we don't let Nazis march in. Well, we have been, but we won't let them march when they're ready to actually attack. I guarantee you they'll get put down real quick.
Hard. Okay, so let's move on to vice presidential candidate Jorkis the Penis Vance. I'm not gonna let that go. Jorkis the Penis. All right, so he defends Marjorie Taylor Greene and says she's a friend of his. Just so you know, this is a video of it.
The accusation against Marjorie is pretty simple, that she appeared at a conference where somebody said something bad. And I asked, did she say something bad at the conference? I actually watched her remarks. I agreed with nearly every word that she said. I hate this about politics. I was raised by my mamaw. She's a great woman. She's from southeastern Kentucky. She called us hillbillies growing up. And she told us that the thing that mattered more than anything, was loyalty. There's no business in the world that asks you to stab your friends in the back like politics. I absolutely refuse to do it to Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is my friend, and she did nothing wrong. She said nothing wrong.
Okay, and she put my honor on.
Yeah, let me point out that she didn't go to a rally where somebody said something bad. She went to a fucking white nationalist rally.
Yeah, like
you know what I'm saying? It's not like somebody said something racist at the rally.
Yeah.
No, she went to a racist rally. That was the whole point of the rally.
That's how they reshape reality to fit their own narrative. They're not saying it. They're just not saying it. Like,
all right, so JD Vance is saying that he defends what she said and where she was. That's fine with him, and she's a friend of his. Okay, great. Let's move on to JD Vance talking about treason, and he has this weird obsession with people that don't have kids. Like these MAGA people, you can tell it's not like the people like Marjorie Taylor Greene are just obsessed with trans people. Other people that are obsessed with the gay community. You know what I'm saying? And now we have this guy who, for some reason, wants to make people without kids pay higher taxes. He wants people with kids to get extra votes in the election. That was actually one of the things he recently, one of the unearthed videos. But this is a
So are they going to suggest that people without kids only count as 3/5?
I don't get it, man. This guy's
going to bring that back?
But this is the thing. Like, dude, you didn't always have kids. It's not like you were born with children. Like you didn't have kids at some point.
It's important to know that every president, every single American president in history has never been pregnant.
That is true. It's amazing, right? Let me play this video real quick.
If we're going to actually really affect real change in the country, it will require us completely replacing the existing ruling class with another ruling class.
Now, I brought you all here for a big announcement, and I guess it's time that I actually get on to making the announcement part.
But I don't think there's like a detent with these people. I don't think there's sort of a compromise that we're going to come with the people who currently actually control the country. Unless we overthrow them in some way, we're going to keep losing.
What is it? Well,
of course, you talk about going on Twitter. Final point I'll make is you go on Twitter, and almost always the people who are most deranged and most psychotic are people who don't have kids at home.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. So we got, he literally said overthrow. Is
That's not the right
treason
word.
not a thing anymore, Mike? Like I used to remember treason being a thing, and there was a very stiff penalty for it.
Well, all I know is we've become desensitized to treason because the Republican Party talks about it all the time. The Republican Party, especially people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, openly talk about civil war. We have Donald Trump, who fomented an insurrection. Okay, we have a Supreme Court that could or could not let him get away with it. So I don't know if treason, the word, means anything anymore. I mean, I don't use it unless someone actually did it. The right uses it when someone on the left points out how stupid they are. Like
when you have the vice presidential candidate for the Republican Party talking about overthrowing the current government and installing a new form of power, that's treason. I thought. Anyway, I mean, maybe I'm not going to accuse anybody because I don't want to get in trouble, but let's ask maybe in the comments, what do you think that is? Is there another word for it that I'm missing?
I mean, he's called, someone reminded me on Instagram, he's called women that don't want kids sociopaths.
Yeah, I mean,
which means he believes the whole purpose of a woman, or let's just say it this way, anyone unlucky enough to be born with a womb should have it filled with his glorious babies as soon as they're viable. Well, the Republican Party is also the party that votes to keep child marriage legal in several states. Yep, go look that up. That's accurate.
Unbelievable. So, but this, all right,
Heritage
so
Foundation
talking about
will solve all our
things,
problems.
You know, going on a podcast and saying these things is one thing, but when you belong to a group and you're in the position that you're in and you have the power to do it and the funding to do it, that becomes a conspiracy to commit treason. I keep putting a question mark at the end because I don't want to get in trouble.
Almost like
Come on,
the
man.
fake elector scheme or anything one might do to try and subvert the democratic process. It's not that complicated.
All right, so let's get into his boss, or so he thinks, Donald Trump, who is just rage posting like a pissed off teenager on Truth Social
all through the night. When is this guy sleeping? I forgot who it was. They were showing all the times he was posting, and it was like the several days after Biden dropped out. He was posting at like midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Like, go to sleep, old man. Go to sleep. Stay off the amphetamines during the day and go to sleep at night. It's not that complicated.
All right, so let's get into some of the videos. This recent video is Donald Trump's nephew wrote a book, and in the book, there's some pretty damning revelations. Some just confirm what we've talked about before on the show is Donald Trump's use of the N-word. On the next episode, we're going to play the video where Trump's nephew talks about how Trump views disabled people, and it's awful, awful what he says. But this is, again, Trump's nephew, his blood relatives that grew up around Donald Trump. So here's part of the interview right here.
There's a chapter that you write about called the race card. What's that about?
I was about 10 years old, and I was at my grandparents' house, like I was a lot. And Donald, I could hear him screaming. And I went down to the driveway of my grandparents' house, and there was his white Eldorado convertible with 2 slashes. Still remember it. And he had electrical tape because the roof was black. And he used the N-word twice, just saying who he thought probably had done this.
You were 10 years old when these comments were allegedly uttered.
Right.
You sure you remember him that way?
Oh, absolutely.
He says he doesn't use the word.
Okay, he did twice that day.
Need any more proof?
Look, I mean, you can take any of this with what you want. But again, history matters. Look at your eyes. Someone doesn't take a huge ad out in the New York Times calling for the death penalty for 5 black boys without a trial, without seeing any evidence. Just, the black guys must have done it. Okay? It's pretty obvious to see a racist, especially nowadays, because they're so goddamn proud of themselves. All right?
And that's why it confuses me when I see like blacks for Trump or Latinos for Trump. It's just like, y'all you're dumb. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know any other way to put it. How else do I put it? It's idiotic. Anyway, so yeah, let's move on to some more those actual Donald Trump speeches. We got some leaked footage, and he spoke at a Bitcoin conference. This shit is hilarious.
Come on.
I can't. He looks even more delusional these days, and he's completely unhinged now. He really is. He really is. And let me remind everybody, Donald Trump once said in a speech, I forget what it was for, but he actually told people the future generation of America, he promised them that all Bitcoin will be made in America. Stupid. Donald Trump thinks Bitcoin is like actual currency that you can hold in your hand.
He's going to open the first Bitcoin mine in the U.S. right in Texas.
Right. So why would they put this guy in front of people? A Bitcoin conference. This is called a little montage that I made. I hope you enjoy it.
Amazing. The people in this room, high IQ individuals. I'm running against a low IQ individual, her. We went for a person who has no talent. She's been a failure at almost everything she's done. You don't hear those words anymore. We used to talk about the American dream. A lot of you people are in the American dream, but you're going to be crushed if you don't elect me. I hate to tell you. Instead of Trump, and look at us now. We're going to move into an extremely small house from our beautiful house. The great Laura Loomer. Some of you know Laura. She's a fantastic person, great woman, greatest of all. And others that say the stock market's going up because they think Trump is going to be elected. But we will be creating so much electricity that you'll be saying, please, please, President, we don't want any more electricity. We can't stand it. You'll be begging me, no more electricity, sir. We have enough. We have enough.
No more electricity, sir. That's what we're going to say. Yes. You're going to be crushed. He's going to move from a big house into a small house. He said that.
Oh, he's going to the big house. He's staying in a big house. Trust me.
Yeah, and his windows will have bars on them. And then he praised Laura Loomer, which Loomer is a nut job. I don't know what the purpose of this woman is, but let me show you one of her tweets.
That's a funny way to say it.
I really don't. Scoop. I hear this is a legitimate post from Laura Loomer. Scoop. I swear to God. And she gets money. She makes money doing this shit. I hear that a black trans doctor will be performing an abortion on a white woman live on stage at the DNC convention in Chicago this August. And then stupid ass Valentina Gomez responds serious that's satanic. This is a public human sacrifice. For those of you who don't remember who Valentina Gomez is, she's the one that was burning books, Latino woman, burning books with a flamethrower, and she's the one that runs with the tactical vest on, like, don't raise your kids to be gay. It's like, what is going on? Yeah, so he praises Laura Loomer, who posts that. What? You want to vote for that guy? Are you out of your freaking minds? It's
but the scary
insane.
thing is there are people that believe what she's saying, whether she believes it or not. It's the same thing as a Charlie Kirk or any of those talking screwballs. I don't care what they believe. I care what they get other people to believe. That's the problem.
And then you have this guy, MAGA rapper.
Fellatio Blow.
Fellatio Blow. He posted this. Why does he have a Donald Trump sex doll in the car with him?
Like
that is
not the flex he thinks it is.
This is definitely not a flex. It's probably a nice car by the looks of it, but yeah, with your hat on, with a it's weird. It's really, really, really weird. And you drive around with that in the car? Are you out of your mind?
Well, let's face it. I don't know how much money he made. Oh, that's right. He was born wealthy. That's right. He's just another liar.
He's just another grifter. Like, his music is terrible.
Don't call it music. It's he's
an
trying to
music.
fit a desire to just make money and peddle hate into a rap career.
He's the douchebag that made the anti-trans Target rap in the video he made in Target. That's the guy.
He's also had such illustrious celebrities as Marjorie Taylor Greene in his videos.
And Amber Rose.
Who does not have brains, apparently. So, hey.
No, not at all. Total lack of self-awareness. But all right,
but
so
they're not weird, and they don't like being called weird either.
Yeah, so here's the leak video. Donald Trump speaking to the Jewish community, telling them how the Democrats hate Jews. Which is weird because Kamala Harris's husband is Jewish. So
the Democrats hate Israel. The Democrats largely hate the Jewish people. It's time for the Jewish people to step up and vote for Republicans and vote for Donald Trump, and we're going to save Israel. Thank you very much. We love you, Stanley. We love you, Stanley. Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, doesn't make any sense. It's weird.
He'll say anything he could say. That's it.
Yeah, depending on what room he's in. Yeah, depending on what room he's in, he'll say what he has to get votes, and it's exhausting at this point. And people are.
Well, how about this? Farron Cousins today did a little video where I forget the names, and I apologize. I should have written it down for tonight, but Donald Trump endorsed 2 Republicans in the same race. He doesn't even know what he just says whatever he thinks is gonna get him something or make sense, or the man has no ability to vet his own thoughts. It's terrible.
It's stupid. It's so stupid. The guy has no clue what's going on. So yeah, all right. So I only have a couple videos left, but we saved the best for last. This one I found of Donald Trump. I forget. I think it's in Charlotte. Or maybe North Carolina. So yeah, I think it's in North Carolina. The dumbest idea ever is what I labeled this video. Where this is his idea. He thinks he wants to use IndyCar drivers. Okay, so this is so stupid. Race car drivers and football coaches to guide our military. Think about that for a second while you watch this video.
It's great. How you do it is amazing. It's so amazing. We should send you into, I've always said, get some of these guys. I have a lot of friends in that world. I don't know. I think, is it Roger Penske, like a great guy too? He won 20 Indianapolis 500s. This guy wins all the time. I mean, we appreciate talent. I said, let me use these guys to guide our military a little bit. When you can win so many races, that's okay. You know, you guide. Same thing with coaches. You take some of the greatest football coaches, you put them at a table. What do you like, coach? Because in its own way, it's not so much really different.
Yes.
Did he?
Yes, you fucking idiot. It is really different, man. You want to put a football coach in a room with generals and be like, all right, coach, what's the play? Just shut up. Stop, man. This is so freaking stupid.
But like, let's take it up a notch of the serious level. Isn't that indicative of what he thinks of the military? We know he has no respect for service people.
Stupid brain.
He looks at it like, well, it's just a game. You just put a few troops over there, a few troops over there, and it just works. Put them on the hill. I think that makes sense. And what do you think, Coach? Right? We'll try a blitz on that. Try a blitz. Just send them all right up the front. Like,
yep, we'll take tanks button hook. Force go long. It's like, what are we talking about here? Yeah, man. The IndyCar coach is like, make sure you get in the draft. Like, what are we talking about here?
Wow.
I don't. Yeah,
wow. He heard about the nuclear football. That's amazing.
He thought it was an actual football.
Go long,
right,
Coach.
So we think of Donald Trump. We are pretty confident that Donald Trump thinks like asylum seekers come from insane asylums.
No, he definitely thinks that.
We definitely thinks that. So yeah, when he heard nuclear football, he's like, oh yeah,
wait a minute.
So we got guys that would be good.
We got the whales. It's upsetting the actual whales in the ocean. So, right, wind is upsetting ocean whales. Asylum seekers come from asylums, and the nuclear football is a good old American pigskin. Real winner in that Donald Trump. Like, honestly, if at any point in your life you voted for Donald Trump, you made a bad decision. If you want to
it's okay.
admit that and like look at some introspection, and we could all talk about why you should probably not vote for Donald Trump again. But if you voted for Donald Trump and you're like really happy about voting for him again, as they say, it's an old one. I have a bridge to sell you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because you don't have the ability to assess reality whatsoever.
I can't believe we got all through all that material in like an hour. All right, cool. So we got one video left. I saved the best for last. This is Donald Trump telling a room full of Christians that this is the last election. All you have to do is vote this time, and that's it. We'll have it fixed. In 4 years, he says it. We'll have it fixed. What does that mean? He wants to stay in power forever.
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
I just noticed something. I watched this thing, and this is just random, but I was watching this body language because I watched somebody talking about how body language tells the truth. And if you watch that video, when Donald Trump says I think he says, I'm not a Christian, because I slowed it down when I was playing around with video editing, and that is what it sounds like. But he's shaking his head no. That is an indicator that he's saying he's
gotcha.
Christian. Like when you say something like you're supposed to nod, like I'm a Christian. He's like, I'm a Christian.
Again, if you want to know what Donald Trump really thinks about religion, go look at the videos of him from decades ago before he had the idea to run for office, and he'll tell you his deepest truth. If you're going to base your opinion on someone or what you think they're actually going to achieve in your best interest, based on them just saying, I love you and a couple of buzzwords, you are a hollow human being with no substance. Like, you don't want to see the man try and say something that might let you know he has a clue about what you believe, about what you value. He doesn't say anything. It's not like he's reciting scripture. He's not even a good snake oil salesman.
No. But
then when he was asked once in that one interview, what's your favorite book or what's your favorite verse? And he's like, all of them. I love all of them. I can't choose.
It's so personal. I don't want to get into it. Come on.
I
know they're like Old Testament or New Testament.
If he could have sold his religiosity in that moment, he would have done it.
And how they said Old Testament or New Testament. He's like, equal. Like, what? That doesn't make sense, bro. All right. So we said, yeah. So no more elections if Donald Trump is elected. That's what he's saying. That's all we have for today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed all the videos that we found. It takes a lot of time to put this stuff together. Mike and I have been working really hard on trying to build this channel into something special. We appreciate all the support so far. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to like and subscribe the video. We have another episode coming up this Sunday, which we are going to be talking about some positive stuff for a change, not these dipshits. We're going to be talking about Kamala Harris and the crazy amount of support that she's getting and all the Democrats that are behind her, unified as one, ready
to do a lot of research for this.
I love every minute of it. Huh?
Gonna have to do a lot of research for this one. I'm gonna look for like data and trends, and we're gonna really put something together that shows that I don't think this is just like a we got something new thing. This is a genuine movement building. As much as I'm afraid to say it, it is. It does appear that way.
They're saying, people are saying Obama energy, and that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. But yeah, so like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be back on Sunday at 2 p.m. We do, if you want to donate to the show, Mike and I are trying to get some better equipment to put out a better production. If you'd like to donate to the show, there is a GoFundMe link in the description of the video, as well as all of our social media information. So other than that, I hope everybody has a good night. And like always, we'll talk to you soon. See you then.
The problem is they are a weird political party.
M&Ms will not be satisfied until every last cartoon character is deeply unappealing, until the moment you wouldn't want to have a drink with any one of them.
These 26 QAnon people.
Q is a patriot. QAnon believers lined up on the grassy knoll. It's the site of the JFK assassination. They believed that the president's late son, JFK Jr., would miraculously appear and that he would help Donald Trump take back power.
I want to talk about the real pandemic, child sex trafficking. By putting masks on these kids' face, you guys support sex trafficking.
Have you been a good little Nazi? It's not necessarily the extreme. I mean, these are people that talk about testicle tanning.
Testicle tanning.
It's testicle tanning.
Half the viewers right now are like, what? That's testicle tanning? That's crazy. But my view is, okay, testosterone levels crash and nobody says anything about it. That's crazy.
By and large, a large part of the Republican Party is just out and out weird.
Then all of a sudden you get invited to, like, well, hey, we're going to have kind of a sexual get-together at one of our homes. You should come. And then you realize they're asking you to come to an orgy.